Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. Hope everybody's doing well. Welcome on this wonderful morning where hopefully we're going to see a Starship launch for the first time on its orbital mission. Apologize for being a minute late. The doggo was very excited that I was up, and so we hung out for a minute. So what are we doing here today? So I'm going to be live streaming the Starship launch. Hopefully, fingers crossed. It is a test program, so it's not always perfect. And SpaceX is notorious for not giving us updates. So we'll do our best to keep an eye on it and keep track of it. We'll do some other things in the meantime. We'll take a look at some stuff. We'll do all kinds of stuff like that. So let's say hello to everybody. And just for those, from what I hear right now, currently, SpaceX is targeting 9 a.m. for liftoff. So there was a window that's actually started 1 minute ago, and they're now targeting 9 a.m. So until then, we're going to be hanging out and looking at some stuff and talking. So hopefully it goes up at 9 a.m. They seem pretty eager to get this thing off the ground. It's been a while. So let's do it. Let's say hello to everybody. Sleazy. And he's a cheater because he said it when I was putting it up. What's up, Landris? How you doing, buddy? I was going to try and pin that, and then I lost where it was at. My channel. Pin message. All right. We're starting off wonderful this morning. Give me 1 second. All right. 3 beers. What's up? Live commentary from Meaty. Yeah. We'll see. What's up, Bri? Good morning, Jude. I'm really excited. It's going to be a great day. We're going to see it. It's going to go great. Well, I learned from the best, Oz. Good morning, bud. Or evening, night, weekend, whatever. What's up, Greedy? Potentially. What's up, Dance? How you been, buddy? Oh, the clock. So you guys do daylight savings like after us then or whatever? You guys switch time? That's weird. Good morning, Come Hope. Andrea, good morning. No, it didn't launch yet, and it is launching from Starbase, Texas. You're in Florida. Hey, you know what? It's it could be worse. When I was first watching and before I started doing YouTube, when I was first watching the thing, I would have it on the entire day, and like their launch window would be like 10 hours, and they'd launch like 15 minutes before the end of the window, but you never know, and SpaceX won't tell you. So yeah, 9 a.m. EST, 8 a.m. Central, 8 Central. 7 Mountain, 6 Pacific. So, why is this doing this? Being funny. So there's a lot of people that have it up. So I'm trying to find a good feed. Do. So this is what we're looking at right now, currently. So the orbital tank farm. So this is kind of progression. This is not from SpaceX, but this is from a lot of us that watch it. Kind of notice patterns, and you can time based on that. So right now the orbital tank farm is active. That's what this little puff of white smoke is right here. So it's condensing the methane and liquid oxygen, super cooling them to very cold temperatures, more than negative 200 degrees, because they're cryo liquids. And then they have to fill this guy up. So after that, we'll see booster LOX load, booster field load. LOX is liquid oxygen. Fuel is CH4 or methane. Then we'll see the same thing with the ship, the top portion of it. Then when we start seeing that, we'll start seeing, and the pictures will get better after the sun comes up in Texas. We'll start seeing ice rings move up the booster itself, and then up Starship itself. Then we'll get into engine chill, and you'll start seeing a vent, a tri-vent, and then you'll start seeing some white puffy stuff coming out, nitrogen, and then you'll see startup, and then it will leave the tower. So yeah, it's Greenwich Mean Time, 11 p.m. Oz. Okay. Oh, that's not good. Hope everyone's all right. They are launching the Starship, the vehicle that Elon hopes will take us to Mars. Nothing Aussie is real. There's sunlight at 7 a.m. now. Well, to be fair, it's 5:30 in Texas. Good morning, Isabel. Oh, I would give anything to be there. It just couldn't happen this time around. Um, yep. Yeah, that's a scientific term. Puffy stuff. Absolutely. Keep in mind this is the first flight of a test vehicle. A lot of times that means, excuse me, a lot of times that means they'll take precautions to save what is a very expensive and very time consuming to build vehicle. SpaceX been a little bit more, had a little bit more leeway with it. But as we saw with something like Artemis, I think it was scrubbed 5 times. So yeah, 100 tons. We're gonna get into that too. It's supposed to be getting bigger. What's up, Wire? It is. I just made it up. No, it's a combination of it's the purged nitrogen and then it's liquid oxygen. So let's see what else is. Notification on there. I was looking for something and then I. Oh, here it is. I found it. So this is what Starship is meant to do eventually. Now we're still quite a ways out from that. There's a lot of testing, a lot of flight proving hardware, all that kind of stuff. But see. Morning, AP. Yeah, so Elon has an odd sense of humor, to say the least. So we'll watch this mission to Mars. Look at that. Bill Andrews. Who's back? So he actually, the tower is called the Chopsticks, and it's intended to catch this booster. I don't know. I think this animation is probably a landing attempt. Nope, they're going to use chopsticks. And then the tower is going to. What's up, Kaiser? That tower is going to lower it back down, refuel it, and it'll be ready to go again. So this is docking. So they'll send another fuel tank up, and the fuel tank will serve as a fuel tank. So it will be all fuel. So it will refuel in orbit, much like fighters refuel in air. And there's it with its 3 MVACs and 3 sea level. Olympus Mons. Huge dormant volcano on the surface of Mars. Oh, I still can't wait till you can take a flight to Mars. It will probably never happen in my life, but one can hope. Olympus Mons, yeah. Yeah. Hang on, I feel like I'm muted again. Can anybody hear me okay? I don't know. Well, that's one of those things we're gonna have to figure out. They wouldn't be terribly effective. There we go. Now I can hear myself. They wouldn't be terribly effective, anyways, with the lack of oxygen. But and then the oxygen-rich environment, I could see that being dangerous. So, but anyways, where was that? Fantastic. That's exactly what we want. That's true. We've gone a lot further than many would have thought. And I mean, even if you go back, you know, to think that humanity in 200 years has come from what it has to launching a rocket of this caliber is pretty insane. So I hope Elon makes space laser guns. I'd raise up. No, he actually doesn't have anything up. There we no. Oh, here we go. Da da da. Come on. So this is the launch tower, and that's the chopsticks part. Oh, no, the tower's flashing. Here we go. Here's some better. That Padre's great. Like I said, there's a lot of people covering it this morning. So, because this is a truly historic flight, you could see the different cams. So, Starbase here is that looks like a cam from the opposite side. And we'll get more as the Texas sun starts coming up. And we can see consistency with the launch schedule, about 2 hours and 25 minutes until launch. So let's take a look at. Thank you for the question, sir. What makes this flight different? Right now, to put it in perspective, we're carrying up essentially a suitcase. So we're carrying a very small amount of payload. This vehicle will allow us to do 100 suitcases at once, and it will be a completely reusable mission. And we'll get into some of the payloads and stuff from SpaceX, but this is truly going to change the way space operates. They still have some bugs to figure out because it cannot fuel itself all the way to Mars. It will actually need, I believe the estimate is 9 refills on fuel so far. So that's concerning because we don't have depots. But we'll see. I'm sure they'll figure that out. But so we'll get into some of the differences. So SpaceX's Starship spacecraft and Super Heavy rocket, collectively referred to as Starship, represent a fully reusable transportation system designed to carry both crew and cargo to Earth orbit, the moon, Mars, and beyond. Starship will be the world's most powerful launch vehicle ever developed, capable of carrying 150 metric tons fully reusable and 250 metric tons expendable. Another thing to put it in perspective, the Falcon 9, which is a very flight-proven rocket at this point, the Falcon 9 carries about 60 Starlink satellites. That's kind of a full load. This one's going to carry in the thousands. So, this is the Starship vehicle. This is the top portion of it. And it says it's just the same blurb. So, Super Heavy is the boost portion. Super Heavy is the first stage or the booster of the Starship launch system, powered by 33 Raptor engines using subcooled liquid methane, CH4, and liquid oxygen. Super Heavy is fully reusable and will re-enter Earth's atmosphere to land back at the launch site. So this is an RVAC, so it's a vacuum optimized engine. You'll see a difference in the nozzle design. It doesn't have to stand up to as much from the forces down here, because we're under an incredible amount of atmospheric pressure, things like that. So the MVAC is a vacuum optimized engine. So in space, we don't have oxygen, free oxygen, and it dissipates so if they just sprayed it out like a normal rocket engine, you wouldn't get as much thrust and you'd lose a lot. So this is optimized for vacuum conditions. So what's up, Ori? We're doing all right. We're looking at Starship. And then, so this is vacuum optimized. So it's optimized to have the best performance in space. They also have sea level engines, which you hear me talking about, and those are optimized for conditions with the atmospheric pressure and being close to the Earth. So I lied. It's backwards. I didn't think that was right, but Raptor, there's the RVAC. So like I said, different designs. You have a bigger nozzle on this one. So we just watched that video. This is what it looks like from the tower. This is Starbase. I don't like their website. It's kind of crushed. 33 small Raptors powering it. 33 on the first stage, which, if you know anything about spaceflight, is absolutely just insane that there are 33 engines. When you're talking about firing, when you're talking about stability, all that kind of stuff, that's, man. Cesium ion, yeah, there's a lot of new technologies being developed. So no, not seriously. I've trying to answer this question without answering it, Comer. I've yeah, I can't really answer that question this morning. I've had dealings with SpaceX. I know some of the people at SpaceX pretty well. So as the most powerful launch system ever developed, Starship will be able to carry up to 100 people on long duration interplanetary flights. Starship will also help enable satellite delivery, the development of a moon base, and point to point transport here on Earth. And that's another thing. So they intend on doing point to point, and that's why Starship has the engines here. So this top portion can fly on its own. It can also obviously connect to this, and it can get you basically anywhere on the planet in about an hour. So take off the touchdown. So the idea is that eventually it replaces airline travel. So here's our payload delivery. It's going to have different iterations. So it's literally just going to shoot out these for Starlink for the constellations, which I think is so cool. And most of this is fuel. So we're going to have fuel up to this point, and then your cargo, payload, or humans will be in this portion here. They actually have one of, oh, why did it go back to the beginning? There it is. So right on cue. They have a lunar version of Starship, which is going to be, I forget what order it is in the test flight, but it's going to be a test mission. The one major issue is the space elevator. So there's going to be an elevator that brings astronauts down to the surface, and that's super concerning. Like development of that's been kind of weird. I think that at least it should be encapsulated, so you maybe carve out some of the fuel tank and make it come out the bottom, instead of they're literally going to have a space elevator that goes down the outside of the vehicle. That seems dangerous in zero gravity. Yeah, like sorry, Melandris, but like Boeing, they basically had like a 14-foot ladder, and they're like, oh, they can just climb down. I'm like, maybe not. Building cities on Mars will require affordable delivery of significant quantities of crew and cargo. The fully reusable Starship system uses on-orbit propellant transfer to enable the transport of up to 100 people to Mars or other distant destinations. Yeah, and it's when you don't have medical facilities and you're 6 months from Earth, if it's on Mars, that seems it could be an issue. Imagine traveling anywhere in the world within an hour or less. With Starship and Super Heavy, most international trips could be completed in under 30 minutes. In addition to vastly increased speed, one great benefit of traveling outside of the Earth's atmosphere is the lack of friction, as well as turbulence and weather. So that's the ultimate point to point. That's the idea behind it. On orbit refueling, Starship leverages movie animation SpaceX. Tanker vehicles, and we talked about that. So it's going to dock belly to belly. It will transfer fuel. So this will be all fuel. And that will get a little bit further. Oh, I'm completely ignoring Rumble too. Sorry. Shizzy, what's up, buddy? Is he over there? Sorry, I forgot about Rumble this morning. Starbase, Texas. This place is awesome. I don't want to watch your video. I'll watch my own video. Just checking the feed real quick to make sure. Let me see. Why is it doing that? Oh, come on. We can. So this is me driving on that beach right there. And I'll narrate because I did a terrible job. But so this is Boca Chica Beach. Oh, what's up, Jizzy? Sorry, buddy. I forgot that I had it open. So this is coming from the complete opposite side. So that's the end of the, not how you get there from Brownsville. So that is what we're looking at today. That orbital launch mount on the left. This was a couple of years ago. Before they had, now there's barriers all the way up, so you can't see as much. But thank you, past me. Yeah, it was much more public at that time. There are some armed guards, and I found that out because media wanted a closer view. What can I say? You'll see him. That white car is an armed guard. I think that's the guard, but I mean, we're not talking like protecting the president level of armed guard, but yeah, and they've stuffed it up quite a bit since. That's why I like to show this video instead of other ones, because this one you can see a lot more. So it's no Area 51. Yeah. So that's Star Hopper. That's the first one. If you watch my show the other day, we talked about Star Hopper, and that is Starship SN. Can't remember. I want to say 8 or 10. And that's the teeny little baby tank farm with that puffy stuff coming out. Um, it's gotten much bigger, as everything else has. Um, so that's the launch site, and that's developed quite a bit too. And then we'll see here. Uh, and I thought about cutting this portion out, but then I was like, nah. See, you can see how far it actually is. Take into account that Texas, you drive like 95 miles an hour. Um, but it's quite a distance from, obviously for safety reasons, when you're lighting a candle. So um, yeah, it was a really close dance. Unfortunately, people screw things up for other people. There was a range safety violation that forced them to scrub a launch from somebody who was trying to hide on the beach. So it is much more restrictive. Yeah. Um, so yeah, it wasn't a crazy climate activist. It was somebody that would not go over to South Padre and watch it like the rest of us. They had to try and sneak in and hide. And we keep going down the road, down the road. It was not me. I know better than that. I do a lot of crazy stuff, but that wouldn't be one of it. That's me, though. That's they're putting in like a cafe right there. Well, they put in, still narrate it. That's the telecom network, so they can communicate with their spacecraft. That's also grown. I'd say let Darwin take it first. Um, Surprisingly, the FAA and NASA don't like it when you kill people on the ground or in the air. I agree with you though. And then we're actually gonna pause. So very active at this time. Well, we'll just go by. Very active at the time. You'll see a lot of equipment rolling in, stuff like that. So there's an old version of Starship with a mass simulator. There's another cone that eventually became a Starship. Oh, kind of self-paused. Um, this is where they stack the rings of the starships. So and this is 2020. I put date on it. This is a nose cone for the lunar starship, and this is the stacking towers. So that was that. But really cool. Is that you right now? Me? No, I wish it was. Uh, I wouldn't be anywhere close because then they would have another range violation, and I'm pretty sure 90% of the people, the enthusiasts for space, would actually would actually do harm to me. That's very true. Very true. I know, right? Uh, SpaceX currently is targeting 9 a.m. Eastern, 8 a.m. Central. Where's it being launched? It's being launched from Starbase, Texas. So just outside of Brownsville. Um, Hang on, I'll show you a map and then we'll get back to. Oh, why did I do MapQuest? Caveman. I have to do Google Maps because I want to be tracked. All right, so we'll do the pull-out picture. Okay, so this is the United States. For those who don't know, Comer. Um, this is Texas, the big state of Texas. Here's New Orleans for. This is Houston. This is so I fly into Houston when I go down. There's a Starbase Austin, and there's a couple other things that he has there. He has some more properties in and around this area, different testing facilities, stuff like that. So then I fly from Houston into Brownsville, which is somewhere down here. McAllen, he has a bunch of testing stands and things like that. Oh, Brownsville's right here. So this is Brownsville. Yes, that's what I thought. So this is Brownsville, Texas. This is where you fly into, and it's really crazy because so this is the Mexico-U.S. border right here. And when you go down 4, there are border checkpoints. So if you ever plan on going, take your passport. But there are border checkpoints, and then when you fly in, they come off the ocean, and then kind of like straddle 4, which is the road you just saw me driving on. And you come into Brownsville. It's kind of crazy because they won't fly into Mexico, obviously, but so you go into Brownsville. Port Isabel is another spot where they have stuff. This is where I always stay, South Padre Island. Isla Blanca's closed. Oh, just the water park. Okay. So if you're ever go to South Padre, this Isla Blanca there's a charge to it. I forget what it is. It's like $10-15. And that's the best viewing angle to see it. They're big. You can see them pretty easily. So, but yeah, so this is the launch facility. That's that tracking center, that dish that I showed you. There's a Starbase sign. This is Starbase Texas. That's new. It wasn't there when I was there last. And then obviously Starbase Texas. So this is the production center where I was showing flight training. So there's a lot of things. Actually, another thing, when you come in from Houston, you fly right over the launch facility, the SpaceX launch facility. So you can see all this from the air. And I was immediately very very rocket. Enthusiasts around space launching because you need tickets nowadays that cost a fortune. Well, at the Cape, and you don't you don't really need tickets to see a launch in Florida. Um, you can see it basically anywhere. No. There is certainly a benefit to having different launch facilities all over. Um, Rocket Labs is actually launching from Virginia. Um, they're also launching from, and I believe they're a QE company, so Ozzy might hate me now. Um, there's also a facility in Great Britain as well. Um, there's some in development here in Michigan. Um, yes, that's the exact word I was looking for. The aliens don't want our jobs. Morning, Jacob. So, so yeah, that's basically a look at it where it is. Um, but anyways, sidetracked. Sorry, surprising. Um, there's often a lot of benefit to having different launch locations. You can reach polar orbits. You can reach different orbital inclinations. So it's always a good idea to have an array and a variety. A lot of the older tech had a specific parallel that they like to launch on, but you know, everybody that's not NASA and not a dinosaur sees benefit in a lot of the a lot of the other things. But um, first commercial spaceport, they also have a commercial spaceport in. This is my favorite one. I just love the name. Uh, yes, always. Good morning, Megan. Um, of course, I got sidetracked again. Surprise. Um, Virgin Orbit. So Richard Branson, um, he has a Spaceport America, which is in a city called Truth or Consequences, New Mexico. The city's name is actually Truth or Consequences. It was odd, but and then blah blah blah. I want to see. I'm gonna see because I have to go get the children up, so I'm gonna leave you guys with Master Space Flight channel. Does good work. Don't leave me for them.
But you're just a little bit further north, aren't you, Adrian?
Yes, it would be bad if I'm in Starbase right now. That would be a major range violation, I feel like. No, I'm in South Padre Isle. I'm
I hope not, because
watching from a
I
good chunk
still.
away.
Well, I don't
But
know.
yeah,
Maybe I don't have stock in them
it's
anymore.
it's really we are going forward. I mean, we are still
I
lacking
should
the
probably look at
confirmation
that.
if they're
I
really
said in Prisoner
very
Space
fast
Extra
go for
to
prop load.
handle
We are right
all
now
launches with NAS taking over once
basically
in orbit.
waiting
I
for
agree.
the OLM thing to
Um,
stop or anything like
that's
that,
never
so
gonna
that we can
happen
malfunction
because of
the safe
the
pair
big
for like
three
an
Boeing
EGP or
Lockheed
anything.
and
That would be great.
um
But as of now, we should be very
forget the
close
third
to
one,
them
but
verifying that go
a lot of
for
lobbying
prop
money.
load was given,
So
and that's what we are waiting for.
And the methane subcooler event has just
yeah,
stopped. I'm being told
um,
in the back channel. So
Disney had a lot of stuff like
yeah,
that.
this
They
prop
were
load seems to be coming pretty
interesting
soon.
for sure.
Yes, and
Um,
event stopping is not a bad thing. In this case, that's a good thing.
all right, I'm
Yeah,
gonna leave you
good
guys
to
with
clarify
nice
They're
that,
space
Sawyer.
flight for like
yeah, they're going on and on.
5 minutes while I
Basically,
go yell at my
we
kids and
will
get them
see
ready for
differences as
school.
soon
I'll
as
be
prop
right back,
loading
guys.
begins. That's the main thing that will stop instantly is the big waterfall vent. As soon as the waterfall then stops, we are into prop loading, and it stops relatively sudden. So watch for that. As soon as that stops, we are in action time. So yeah, looking forward. It's getting quite close here right now.
I know. Fingers crossed that this goes through to T0 now, and then this trip would have all been worth it for you, Adrian. This is looking. How are you feeling? How's the atmosphere right now? Like this must be pretty exciting.
Oh yeah, we are very excited here. I think it has been a very cool week so far. The I think so far it's looking really good, and we'll see how the next 2 hours are um, playing out. But yeah, it's amazing. It's like seeing this as a potential first rocket launch is just. I mean, you cannot ask for more, I guess.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Rai hitting it with the great questions. Asking another question: is this the first suborbital launch out of Texas? Now, Sawyer, have we had any other suborbital launches?
Uh, Out of Texas, no, it is not because you may remember Blue Origin. Their New Shepard launches out of Van Horn, Texas, so other side of the state. But there are suborbital launches there. In terms of SpaceX, they've done their hops, which went to about 12.5 kilometers
Sawyer,
at its
sorry, I'm
highest.
just going to quickly interrupt you here because we have confirmation that the WB-57 is now airborne. It is taking off from Eglinton and it's now
oh
on its
boy.
way to the launch site. It'll be down there in about an hour's time. So that is when we're expecting the WB-57 imagery aircraft to make it down there. It is just past 1,000 feet, so it is on its way to Starbase, which is very, very exciting. It's now just making the turn out of Houston.
And
I
up
can
Sorry,
north,
Sawyer,
sunrise is
you
also
can
in about an
continue.
hour.
Yeah,
I was gonna,
I can. We are seeing first signs of the sunrise. It's slowly coming, and also we will, of course, have our eyes open for the WB-57, which might circle here a bit.
And
yes,
Brady in the back channel actually has a cool fact here, which is the WB-57 flies higher than Starship's highest flight so far. Go on, Sawyer.
no, that was just going to go along with what I was saying in terms of the height of Starship's flight. So, yes, we've had suborbital flights from Texas from Blue Origin and 12.5 kilometers up from SpaceX, but this would be their highest launch for sure out of Texas and the highest launch out of Texas.
I'm gonna get this one from Squeak Squawk quickly. Adrian, talking about launch windows, when does the window today actually close? And I'll also add on to this question: if we end up with a T, hopefully we don't, but if we do end up with a T-0 scrub in just under a couple of hours, will there be the opportunity to recycle and go again within today's window?
It depends why. Um, SpaceX so far has not really confirmed any like recycle times in case of certain abort moments. So I would at this moment help my speculation of if that would be possible or not. We would have to wait for SpaceX to confirming that.
And do we know how long the window will be open for today? Sawyer,
I
if
can
you want to
take it.
take
Yeah,
that.
it's a the total window is 150 minutes, which would open in about an hour from now. So at 7 Central Time, So I guess that would be, if my math is right, 9:30 Central Time, 10:30 Eastern Time.
Yeah, we're all running on a little bit a bit of a lack of sleep, so any irregularities with your mathematics, I'm sure it can be forgiven. And Alex confirming that the in the back panel, 9:30 in the morning Central is when the window closes. So that's pretty much the time period that SpaceX has to play with. It's been a little while since we've gone over some of the new memberships. I'd just like to thank everybody who has become a Red Team member, or even a Launch Director member, or even a Capcom member. All the different member levels. If you've become one, thank you so much. We've got some more store messages in here. We've got some more contributions from overseas as well. Thank you, everybody. We also have Satoshi gifting 5 Red Team memberships. That means 5 people who may have not been able to afford a Red Team membership now get access to the Red Team membership program, and you get access to the multi-view to see pretty much, I think, nearly every or the majority of the live feeds that we have out of Starbase. You can see them all at the same time. Some feeds aren't necessarily on Starbase Live, some feeds aren't necessarily on the commentary broadcast, and it means you get to see them before anybody else. And Dank Jeb with 100 USD.
All
Thank you
right.
very much. Just asking when hop. That's a big contribution.
So NASA Spaceflight's a great channel when you're not watching me. Sorry about that. Hopefully they actually listen this morning. Big hopes. Big hopes. They're the OGs of Starbase Texas. I've watched so many hours of their footage. So there's that. So yeah, they have some permanent cameras out there as well. So it's pretty cool. They cover a lot of stuff for both at the Cape and Starbase Texas. And a lot of times watching, that's where the moniker Texas Tank Watchers comes from. Because we used to just sit out there and watch. I'm not sure. SpaceX's stream shouldn't be up yet. I can look, but if SpaceX's stream's up, then they also shortened the window, as you heard. So 10:30 Eastern. No, SpaceX's stream is still an hour out, 61 minutes. And SpaceX's stream will be an indicator. The one thing that they've told us is they're going to go 45 minutes prior to launch. They will start their live stream. So we'll have a little bit of an indication of when they plan on going from that and that alone. So that's one of those things. Sorry, I'm just looking at the back ends now. Yeah, no updates that I'm seeing right now. So awesome. I appreciate it. I'll take a look at it. Oh, Texas Tank Watchers, because it looks like it at first looked like a water tank. And we got nothing from SpaceX. So when we started originally watching it, we were all just sitting there watching this tank in the middle of desert. Well, It's probably not actually a desert, but in the middle of Texas. So, is it possible with current technology to use Google Earth Street View to stand there and watch the launch? That's a good question. I don't believe that's a live thing. I could be wrong on that, but SpaceX Inc. No, I. So this is the official SpaceX channel. SpaceX, and they're 5918 away from starting. So we can look at it. I don't believe that they're live. No. Nope, they're not. They're definitely not live. So this is the official SpaceX channel. We could watch a night launch. Oh, that one's cool. Where's Crew 6? Crew 6 launch. I don't want to watch the whole damn thing. But anyways. So no, it's that's certainly not them. Okay, I will. They should. They probably have. So IoT, when we get more Internet of Things and more cameras, I think it'll be interesting. So SpaceX Inc. Huh. Look. No, that is not. That is absolutely not SpaceX's feed. That's kind of screwy, though. Dang. They're using the same thumb. I want to see what they're doing real quick. Yeah. Wow. That's interesting. No, that is certainly not SpaceX. That is not at all SpaceX. So yeah, 1 million subs. Maybe I just need to change it to SpaceX, right? This is interesting. Well, so this is a vectoring. So all these engines move because you have to be able to steer the ship. Yeah, I see. I saw that. I listened to it. So I'm not a big fan of doing stuff like that, but potentially. Hey T Barb. Hope you're doing well. You're good hands. Corn Pope's awesome. What's up? Couldn't they use the satellites? Potentially. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't like when people do that. Do the work, but whatever. They've been a channel for a while, so I am not SpaceX. I envy what they're doing, but I am not SpaceX. Yeah, and aren't you not supposed to do the crypto thing on the YouTubes? I thought. So anyways, back to this. This is vectoring, so it has to be able to steer. So all 33 engines can't just be bolted on. They have to be able to move and adjust. So they do a vectoring test before any flight, and that's a vector. So it's just so cool. That's so neat. And they won't turn that drastically when it's actually flying, but they obviously need to know the whole range. They're very slight intermittent moves. So gonna take 3 seconds to, if you are new to the channel or not subscribed, please hit that subscribe button. Working on getting to that magical 1K mark. We're getting there. So I would appreciate it. I do a lot of different things over here. So where did I put? I usually have some more energy when I'm not up at 6 o'clock in the morning. I'm not technically a morning person. Yeah. I think that there's a lot of things that the problem is getting implementation of it. So it's really hard to implement stuff like that, for sure. And that goes for any technology or new technologies. It's not until there's a need for it. So it could be something that comes later, because again, this is the first ever orbital flight from here. They've done some hops, which are 150-meter hops and things like that. But yeah, there has never been a flight out of this facility. So I was going to go back to La Padre for a minute. So it might be something that comes in the future. Morning, Imp. Oh, no worries. It was super early. We haven't gotten anywhere yet. So it's one of those things where, yeah, I think the technology just needs to be there to be able to catch up to it. So, or the need for the technology. But start explaining method of travel. Oh, that's really cool. The Mars and Beyond video that you sent. I appreciate that. So I'll take a look at that. It happens. Take a spaceship. You don't have to deal with traffic. So we're still targeting that 9 a.m. time slot. So we're at 6:24 Central. Our countdown's still T minus 1 hour and 35 minutes. I'm not seeing anything else. No new venting. There's not any new. See, Isabel, there's that white puffy stuff. I told you. Technical term. Did anything ever come of that report released by the Pentagon about an alien mothership sending out probes? Yeah, it's very interesting. I think that there was some desensitization going on there. And yeah, I don't know. But no, I have not heard anything else about it at all. So this should be nitrogen. Yeah, it should be purge nitrogen. It will switch over to LOX soon. That's true. And I've been to both Oak Ridge, Tennessee, and Los Alamos, and I could see how they hit it. they're both very far off the beaten path, and an unassuming person would not know anything was going on. So I know, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, it, like I said, it will turn to LOX here. Well, window probably in the next 20-30 minutes. And you'll see a much bigger, puffier cloud. So Starship is trending on the Doge. Because I don't think it's Twitter anymore. SpaceX T-minus 12 hours, and that was 10 hours ago. So yeah, they're targeting 8 a.m. Central Time liftoff from the official SpaceX Twitter. And no additional updates. So I think we're good with that one. Something that's interesting about, well, at least I find it interesting. So originally there's a lot of different things that go into making a rocket. Oh, there's some, right. Well, if we don't know, then, oh, I should drop my channel. Yes, right here. I'm gonna do this live. Oh, where's my channel at? I knew I had it up. Oh, that sucks. We're gonna promote myself live. There we go. It's called live promotion in a moment. Yeah, we'll do it live. All right. So the interesting part about this, so there's a lot of considerations that go into what a spacecraft's made out of, duty cycle, stuff like that. Aluminums and other alloys have been very popular at times. When he was originally going through the design phase and different iterations of the design, he was looking into carbon fiber, and carbon fiber was exponentially more expensive than stainless steel. He made iterations of stainless steel and started with 304L. They then made their own alloy, and they called it 304X, of course, because he has a fascination with the letter X for whatever reason. So this steel is actually a proprietary blend from SpaceX. It is a stainless, much like 304L, 304L is used for the cryo liquids that are in it. So it actually strengthens when it gets that cold, whereas other can get very brittle. That's what I'm saying. X is a great letter. Like, you put 3 of them together and you have a really good time. So, back to the they 304X. So it's a stainless steel blend, optimized from a 304L platform, essentially. So the top of it, he wanted it to be all stainless and all bright and shiny, like the rest of the vehicle. When they got into further design considerations and development, they realized that wasn't going to work. It gets very hot when it re-enters. So they started flirting with different ideas, including a permeable outer tank that would actually deposit liquid oxygen on the outside of the vehicle to have a skin almost to keep it protected. And that seemed to be essentially a waste. So they went back to development and developed these black tiles. These tiles are close to what's on the what was on the space shuttle. With obviously SpaceX's special touch, and so this is completely aligned with tiles. And the tiles function as a heat shield to keep it from overheating and melting. So it's been an interesting development just from that alone, the different iterations of how it's going to react. It adds a level of complexity, 100%. It's kind of very much so. It's very close, very close. Me. Trying to see if there's something. I can't. So it's called Pika X. Again, there we are with that Pika or that X on the back of it. I think that Google shouldn't be terrible to show. So it's called Pika X, phenolic impregnated carbon ablator. Pika. Pika Pika. Or pizza pizza if you're hungry. So it's a carbon ablator. So basically what it is it's a they're really cool, and there's been many demonstrations where they hold a heat shield tile. NASA did them, and they'll hold a blowtorch on top of it, and it will become very red hot on top, but their hand is cold. And that's what they use for the space shuttle tiles. The problem is that they have to be replaced from time at times. I'm kind of hungry too. Morning, Dazer. Good to see you, buddy. Yeah, I'm doing all right. It's not terrible. So where was I at? I forgot. Oh, carbon ablators. So one of the things that you can do is kind of like an aerogel was the thought behind. It's sort of, but it's much more. It's much more robust than an aerogel. Aerogels are so brittle, so brittle. But yeah, it's one of those things where they develop their own thing. But anyways, so you can actually, if you take a piece of just regular white bread and you burn the hell out of it, that can be used as a carbon ablator, because that's the same thing. You're turning it to a carbon. The carbon dissipates the heat. So it's basically, you can think of it as a really advanced overcooked toast. I mean, overcook the toast like crazy. There we go. Overcook the toast like crazy. So yeah, you can carbonate toast and use it as an ablator if you are in a pinch and you need to re-enter your rocket to Earth. Wow. Sidetrack 101. If you're new to the channel, I can certainly get sidetracked. It is almost a guaranteed that I'm going to get sidetracked. We're starting to see a little bit of action, it looks like. Maybe. And I don't hear my children, and I should. I apologize. The little guys, we're trying to get them ready to go to school here. So we'll probably go to school late, and I'll let them watch the launch. It's a historic day. Why wouldn't I? That's on their end. That's not mine. Why is that? So I might have to find you guys another video and run for a second in a minute here. Like you said, never trust children. They're good kids. They're just, toast ship. Absolutely. Morning, Mystic. Yep. See, as soon as I start talking about having the kids go to school late, Mystic shows up to yell at me. I'm surprised she hasn't yet. So I'm trying to see what else is going on here. This is a good view. I'll be back at work again soon. You're not even gonna stay, dance? No. And just to be clear, there is a possibility that we don't get a launch today. We hope that there is, but there is a possibility, with it being a test program, that the program could be scrubbed today. So just manage expectations. Yep. What's up, Alex? So here is Starship. So it's just, this is from the ground. It is just a massive vehicle. And Elon said it's going to be another 10 meters taller, so another 30 feet. Nah. He'll just build another one. If he has to. All right, so let's play with something. Oh, that's going to be the wrong cam. General. So this is what the Raptor engine looks like, but much, much bigger. Much bigger. So this is 3D print. It's a dusty 3D print, but so this is your vectoring control system. So it attaches at 2 points, vectors. This is where your flow comes in. These are your different turbo pumps. So this pumps the liquid through, and then you have your engine bell. So that's a rocket engine. And there are 33 of these guys on the bottom, all working perfectly in coordination with each other. I 3D printed this one myself. It's a cool little guy. I like it. And then we also have Starship. I also 3D printed this guy. This one's heavy. It's solid all the way through, but got the little flaps. So the flaps, the idea is it has a belly flop maneuver, and it comes in like that, and then reorients and sets down. So just a couple toys that I like. So and so why is that? No, I don't like that either. I like that. No. That's true. So you mean from the booster? Yes. So on their first orbital or their first full duration static fire, so they only had 31 successful engines, and Elon said that was more than enough to reach where they needed to get to. So more than enough with 31. So there was redundancy built in. Yeah, flip and burn. Why not? We'll watch the. That's a good thing to do while I'm going to yell at children. The other day. Here we go. Sorry about that. That reminds me, I haven't even looked at weather reports, but I'm assuming it's a go. Or we had heard. So I will play this video for you real quick, and I'll be right back. This is all the tests, all the different tests in a compilation.
With Photo Vibrance, you can transform any photo into a mesmerizing moving image in just a few clicks. Simply drop your image into Vibrance and choose the effect you want to create. Then select your preferred resolution. Inside the editor is where the magic happens. Click around the parts of your image you want to remain still, then choose the motion arrows to add movement to areas in your image you want to bring to life. It's really that simple. You can also add text, images, as well as special effects and sky replacements to make your images really grab attention. In our advanced editor, you can also create incredible 3D parallax animations. Control the path and rotation of the camera, adjust the easing of your animations.
One day, Belandris, but today is not that day, buddy.
Four and a half minutes. We are heading off to the LOX tank. We are beginning to flip to horizontal.
See,
Right
I
behind the plume, you are
I don't
seeing
like the
the
flip and burn.
potential. There's a liquid oxygen dump. We've now
Not a
transitioned
fan of
to
the flip and
horizontal
burn,
and
but
beginning the subsonic
it's what he wants to do.
test portion of the flight, where we check out the aft and the forward flaps to hold the vehicle stability as we descend.
The aft flaps move so it can orient it, and it can essentially fly like an aircraft would.
We're preparing to restart 2 engines, flip the vehicle vertical, then transition to 1 engine for the landing burn.
And the whole problem was they couldn't get enough pressure after the flip to be able to successfully do that maneuver.
3, 2, 1, ignition. We have liftoff.
Also, in reality, I don't know why. Just like most of my, it's I don't know why they did this flight test, because this is never going to be a configuration that they're going to use. They're not going to be they're not going to be utilizing this because the booster is going to do the heavy lift. What's the idea or a reason? The flip and burn is just that it's to make it like an aircraft, so it can fly essentially. No worries, AP. Like, I'm happy to answer any question, buddy. So what's the idea or reason for the flip? It's just to make it fly on target, so they would use less fuel, essentially. At least that's the idea behind it. So, I'm not a proponent of it. I don't think it works, and I think it's I think the G's that you pull doing so is not worth the benefit of it. Well, I understand that. Yeah. So this one, unfortunately, that's those G's could hurt someone. This one was unfortunate. It was so cloudy that you could barely see what was going on. But this was their first successful land. And they also had uplink problems the whole flight through, so it was very stuffy. No, this isn't it yet. Isabel. This is just all the things that got us here. We're still an hour out. Yep.
Just past T plus 4 minutes into flight. We've got the views back from the Raptor engines.
See how the video keeps freezing.
T plus 4 minutes 34 seconds. While we're working to regain video, looks like we've got a shot looking back at the flaps on Starship.
That's so cool.
Horizontal descent phase now. We're passing 6 kilometers. A reminder, phase that's coming up as we get ready for landing. We will light 3
Probably
Raptor
just getting to
engines
work
lift
when
the
it goes
vehicle
up.
from
Yeah.
horizontal to vertical. If things look good, we will shut down 1 Raptor engine and then possibly a second one and land on a single engine. We have ignition.
I was so excited when this happened. They got real close to the edge of that concrete. So there it is, standing, soft landing.
And Starbase Flight Control has confirmed, as you can see on the live video,
It was on fire
Starship has
for
landed.
quite a while, and it was.
We're going
We
through
were
the safety
waiting for it to
sequence
blow
on the
up.
flight computer right now. We'll be back in a moment.
Yeah, I think it's so it's close to Brownsville, Texas. Yeah, it's to conserve fuel and greater precision. They can kind of bring it in to where they want to. So there's a benefit to it. I just think it's an unnecessary benefit, honestly, in my own opinion. But and we're starting to be able to see this is Elon Musk. So this is a commercial rocket program. So this is SpaceX. Yeah, and they started developing chairs to reduce the G's and stuff like that, like he's putting in Crew Dragon. Again, it's just a lot of development for something for a nominal fuel savings, in my opinion. But again, he's Elon Musk, so no, I just prefer a traditional vertical landing like they do with the Falcon rockets. Yeah, I'll look up. Well, when we get to the SpaceX feed in like 15 minutes, I'm sure they'll talk about upper level winds and stuff like that, because it's not necessarily the conditions on the ground, it's the conditions all the way up. So, and launch abort conditions and things of that nature. So that's true. Well, that's no fun, Alex. Don't be productive. Nobody wants to be productive. If you're on Rumble, if anybody's on Rumble, leave a comment, interact. Yeah, it's and this has implications far beyond just being a space thing. It's this could be really groundbreaking for a lot of different things. So um there's a lot of technologies and things that come out of doing this. Yeah, we'll start seeing some activities. Like I said, we'll start seeing some freezing lines, that kind of thing. So we're still quite a ways out, actually. NSF has some good footage, so we're starting to see maybe some loading. Let's see what the gents have to say.
Is extremely capable and is doing things with an utmost of caution. So it's not like we're riding the bleeding edge here or anything, but it's serious business. We're launching the world's largest and most powerful rocket. We're dealing with huge amounts of liquid oxygen, huge amounts of liquid hydrogen, and it's not to be trifled with. It's not to be taken lightly. As much fun as we are all having, and will continue to have,
Well,
rest
Andrews
assured,
interacted.
this
Thank you,
is
buddy.
quite an operation here. And just one thing I do want to point out really quick, just take a
I
moment
believe so. And we got, I mean, we
wrap your
got a
head around
lot
the
of
scale
different
of things you're
things.
seeing. Like Starhopper is 60 feet high.
Uh,
The vehicle is
Yeah.
massive, and yet look how massive that vent is. Like
It's
that is a huge vent.
it's crazy. I'm all the way over at SPI, and I can see the vehicle. I can see the vent. So
well,
clearly,
there's concerns
it's
with everything. This is
it's
still a test
such a
program.
big
This
vehicle.
isn't a.
And we
This is the
are
first flight
how
of this
much
rocket
away?
ever. So
Hour and
Like
18.
hour 18.
We can hear
yes,
an
remember to
increase
hit
in
that like
Ben's
button
voice now.
and subscribe to the channel. Click on the bell, notifications, blah blah blah. I can't believe I'm up
There
and
we
awake,
go.
but this I
And
wouldn't have it any other way
yeah,
with
the LOX is filling up at the
with this
speed we would
beautiful,
expect.
beautiful rocket. So let's see, where were we at? Let's see what the Twitter Spirit has to say. Yeah. Oh yeah. It's gonna be amazing. And some of the big booms are cool. So from SpaceX 820 CT. So go for prop load. Well, SpaceX's Twitter should be safe-ish. Fueling of Super Heavy is underway. So as of 16 minutes ago, fueling of Super Heavy is underway. Go for prop load 820 CT. So that is 920 Eastern. So that's nice. SpaceX is going to give us some updates. That's cool. What did they update there? 8:15 is when they have the. So they haven't changed their feed. Which is interesting. Technically, it will be both because they are not recovering this. They are going to dump it in the ocean, somewhere in the Pacific. We certainly could do a recovery mission if anybody's down. Go grab some Starship, and I'm not even kidding. Exactly, Dazer. Well, I forget that. Let me get the quote so I don't screw it up. I know. Wait, what? I left my Discord chat running? Did I for real? Of course, the name is super heavy. I'll joke aside though. I want to find the. I can't find the direct quote, but basically, you're sitting on a ton of explosives, and a million things can go wrong, and only one way for everything to go right. So, and the original ones were when you get into Mercury Redstone, um, they were literally bombs. They were bombs. They're just repurposed. So it takes a lot of guts for the original astronauts to be able to do what they did. It's quite impressive, actually, for that to happen. So really, really neat. I would do it. I'm still pirating. Wait, what? Yes, it is. Maybe I still am anyways. Who knows? You don't know. You don't see my computer. You just see what I want you to see. Well, if they would fund certain companies to do the research, then we wouldn't be. But places like NASA don't want to move the ball. Thank you. We're sitting on 4 million pounds of fuel, one nuclear weapon, and a thing that has about 270,000 moving parts, built by the lowest bidder. Makes you feel good, doesn't it? Thank you, Impish. I couldn't find it. What is that thing cover? Oh, I can't see the emojis. I guess I could go look. That's very true. All right. So our kids are stirring about. Okay. Well, go take care of it. Oh, okay. Wait a minute. I'm checking Discord right now, and I'm not still in Discord. Now you got me all sidetracked, Landers. Do. Where was I? I was in gaming. Yeah, it definitely wasn't, but spinning room would be terrifying. Absolutely. Oh, it just says I'm still in okay. Gotcha. Could be. Uh yeah, there wouldn't be 10% for the big guy. Well, and that's the other thing. Like, yeah, there could be so many advancements if they weren't dealing with that. But that's more important geopolitics than space. So go back over here to the multicam. Checking the tweeters. I'm still not seeing anything. Weather's looking good for tomorrow. Concerned with wind shear. So we'll look at that. No, well, yeah, that too. But my children are also looking to see. Gonna go for propellant load. So 139, an hour 39 is when it says. I guess I can show this. So 2 hours is when they do the go no go poll. LOX and methane are underway at 139. And then they start fueling the ship. Engine chill, excitement guaranteed. So we're still watching SpaceX's feed to see when they're going to start, because like we said, the indication is at up to 45 minutes. I know, I just saw it snowing. I don't know how I'm going to do that. So I might just leave the video on and run them to school very quickly, if chat would allow me to do that without getting too upset. Maybe we'll just do SpaceX's feed. Well, that's probably good, Pineapple. We want to be nice. It's a happy day. It's a happy day, buddy. So maybe that's what I'll do. I'll just put on SpaceX's feed. Once that comes on, run them real quick, and then come back and make it in time for the launch. So. Okay, Giddy. Okay. I could put a banner for the actual. Orbital. Yes. Starship. Texas. Targeting. Did we say it was now? Targeting. They're still at 9, but SpaceX is still at 9. But I thought we decided at 9. Looks like 9:23 at this point. Scroll, add. Fantastic. There we go. Professional. I know. It's so cool. Yeah, we're like 3 minutes away, so it's not going to be very long. So. Mm-hmm. Pants are prison. Unfortunately, it's so cold here. I'm gonna have to wear pants because it's snowing now, which is beautiful. Teams are completing final checkouts. Okay. Checking SpaceX's Twitter. See if we got any new updates. Fueling of Starship's upper stage is now underway. So we are at fuel load. So we're at around an hour. Just about an hour. So yeah, they're on pace for 9:20. That's cool. 9:20 Eastern. I know, professional. Yeah, so I'm not going to convert it, but it was the last like 3 days. It's been mid 80s freedom units, and then right after that, I think it was yesterday. It was like 78 degrees, and then it dropped down to like low 30s. Yeah, true professional. That's what I'm saying. So that's what I'm saying. Yeah. It's snowing right now. No, I got you. Wait, you're in Europe too? Or yeah. 100%. As usual. It is very annoying. Incredibly annoying. Your 10C50F. Yeah, that would be. God, that'd be nice right now. Oh, that sucks. No. How about we just keep the white powder out of Michigan? For good. For us, it's occasional snow through 3 p.m. That's wonderful. Yep. Wow. Weather channel says greater than 1 inch. Nothing's gonna stick because the ground's been warm. Properly distracted once again. I'm still waiting for SpaceX's feed to start up. They still say 8:15, but it has not started. Like I said, that's going to be one of our key indicators of the 45 minutes. They have made sure of that. So, well, feeling of upper. So let's see. Oh, they just moved back there. Oh, no, we're behind. Yeah, that's true. First time I showed what? What did I show? I didn't do anything inappropriate this time. God damn it. So they have us targeting 58 minutes. Oh. I agree, but Mother's is new. Cryogenic propellant of... Okay, so Elon says exactly 1 hour from 3 minutes ago. So we're at 56:19, somewhere in there. So in 10 minutes, we should have the SpaceX feed. So
Ground pipes, what they're doing. On the ship, you
I
need
think
to
I'm
get
going to
it
leave
out
you with
at
these guys
sight,
and run
because
the
otherwise your ship
little
will
guys
build up
school
with
if you're
gas
the
in the
little guy.
interstage.
Yeah.
So that's why they make sure that they get that out. That's what we all just saw.
Cool deal.
Does it, Jack? Do you hear the excitement in Adrian's voice?
I do, and it's. I mean, I've heard Adrian excited many times, but I've never heard him quite this excited, and
All
it's
right.
rightfully so.
I'm going to steal Nest Spaceflight's coverage for
I'm
like
standing here behind him, like he's
5,
been on
10
commentary
minutes.
for so long.
Probably
and he,
10 because
he
the
had
kids
to
are not going to
stand
be ready.
up
See,
to like get
there's
some of
those
his
ice rings
energy
that I
out
was
so
talking
he could
about.
see.
Here, oh, here's those ice rings that I'm talking about. So they're fully feeling the rocket. So, you'll see this kind of creep up, and that will tell you where the load is. They can't. It's obviously touchy stuff, so they can't just shoot it in there in 10 seconds. It's a slow build, pressure build. So
Starbase. So at some point, I just wanted to stand up.
I wonder
So I
too.
am
I think
constantly
he.
while commentating. Look at Starbase.
Yeah,
It's a good
quite,
I
problem
think he
to
knows
have.
it's going to work
it's
eventually.
quite hard to sit
so
still. I mean, I think we're all
when there's a
entering sort of
rapid
pace mode.
unscheduled disassembly, a RUD, rapid unscheduled disassembly, because his rockets don't blow up; they rapidly unscheduled disassembly. He just kind of brushes it off. He's also very much in the camp that you learn more from failure than you do success from success. If it blows up, you know what's wrong. If everything goes well, but it's there's a problem that's hidden, then that becomes an issue later. So he'd rather have it blow up in all its glory than barely squeak by. So, yep. I don't know. I don't know what that's to, but I'll take it. Yeah, exactly. Oh, yeah. You don't want to go back. Don't go back. Oh, okay. Haha. We're starting to move then. Its base exit speed is officially starting in 9 minutes and 49 seconds. So so that means we are 54 minutes out because they are definitely starting 45 minutes prior.
Everyone's already been giving us your support so far. We now
Yeah.
are planning, it
Yeah.
appears, like a T0.
Oh,
of,
gotcha.
8:18
Okay.
a.m.
That makes sense.
Central
Now
Time,
everything
the
makes
latest
sense
tweet
for the last 10
from
minutes.
Elon Musk. So, Adrian, where are we at, by the way? In,
All right, Joe. I'm going to
the
leave
fueling
you
process?
guys
So
for
what propellants
just a
are being
few
loaded up
minutes.
right
I will
now?
be back as
Basically
quickly
everything.
as humanly possible.
They are
Um,
loading on
I'll leave you
both
in
four
good
tanks,
company. These guys
propellants,
are
as we
great.
can see right
So,
now.
and I'll
You
be
can see
monitoring the
crossings and
stream.
everything.
Not that I can do shit about it, but I'll try.
Everything looks good so far. Looks progressing. They're a bit for more ahead in the booster, of course, because that started earlier. But the ship's tanks are smaller, so they will catch up. And right now, the tank farm is exactly what it's supposed to do, which is providing as much cryogenic fluids as they can.
Exactly. And it is interesting to point out there. So what you're seeing there with that looks like smoke coming off of it, that is just the super chilled outside of the vehicle as those super cooled propellants are loaded inside the ship and inside the booster. And it's also interesting that you can see the distinct lines of the individual tanks. So you can tell which one is liquid methane and which one is oxygen. What is the breakdown of that, by the way? Which tank is which?
Um,
Go ahead, Adrian.
the smaller tanks are the methane tanks. The bigger ones are the liquid oxygen tanks. That's the general rule. And yeah, I'm always lost when oh, there's ice breaking from the top tank a bit. It was a bit of ice just falling down. While they are tanking this.
And again, that is completely normal. The
Yeah,
ice is expected to fall off. And a reminder for those who are taking a look on both, the liquid oxygen tank is on the bottom and the liquid methane tank is on top. And that is both for the booster and for ship 24 as well. Continuing to just go through all of your support here. It's really appreciated. We have some immense support. Eric Ramey here with a $100 tip. Thank you very much for that. So excited for this launch. Really happy how far NSFs have come. We very much appreciate that and the support and the love from everyone out there who's watching and helping here. We've got Stephen J with the $300 super chat. No message there, just the kind support. Stephen J, thank you very much. It's from people like you that we can actually continue to do what we do and provide this to everyone, as well as from Fatimore with a $100 saying, awesome quality, guys and gals. Keep up the excellence. We appreciate it. And Fizz with $120. Thank you for such great coverage. Go Starship. We are completely on board with you with that. And Andy Good with the €100. Thanks, Chris and all the team, for years of incredible coverage. Let's go. I am definitely on board with that. Let's go indeed. As we're getting closer now into the countdown here, we are continuing to see fueling going on at this moment. There is a great view where you can see the distinct lines of the liquid oxygen and liquid methane being loaded into both the booster and ship 24 at the very top there. And that is expected to continue for a little while now as we approach that T0, though. Let's see if we have any quick questions from you guys that we can go through while we keep an eye on the fuel load here. Adrian, I'll pose this one to you. While we're looking at the vehicle in the bottom left there's that large black clamp at the base of the rocket. What exactly is that, and will it move prior to launch?
Yeah, that is the booster quick disconnect. So basically there are two parts of this vehicle, how they fuel it. You can see the arm on the ship. The arm on the ship is providing the liquids to the upper stage, and at the bottom there is the booster quick disconnect, which is providing all of the liquids that are needed to the first stage. At close to liftoff, they will both retract. The ship QD will move to the side, while the booster QD will retract to itself, like in this protective shell, to protect all the lines in there and the electronics from the energy of the Raptors passing by, so you don't have to build that up every single launch. So yeah, that's basically part of the infrastructure to fuel these rockets.
Exactly, and it's very similar to the quick disconnect arm, which is up near the top. That's at ship 24. Again, that is also expected to pull away at T0 and is currently doing its best to provide all the services that the booster or that the ship needs, just like the hold down there. Let's see. We are continuing to keep an eye on the engine chill here. Thank you everyone for all the support. And I do want to point out that we do have someone else that is joining us here to help out with some of these questions and all the support and launch coverage, and that is Ian Atkinson. Ian, how are you?
Hey guys, anything interesting happening today?
I don't know if there's anything happening.
I don't know. All right, I'll see you guys later then. This sounds pretty boring.
Very funny.
Kid.
It is good to have you here. And we are getting so many questions and support here from everyone. We really appreciate it. Feels like we've got some more questions that we can take care of here. And Ian, I'm going to send one over to you. And that is going to be, is the rocket standing on top of the orbital launch mount, or is it encapsulated inside? And is there a risk of the booster colliding with the inner ring or walls? And that's from Deccan.
Yeah, so it is kind of inside the orbital launch mount, only partially. So the engine section or the aft skirt of Super Heavy is within the orbital launch mount. Now, any risk of collision at liftoff really would only be if it went laterally, if it somehow went left to right, forward to backwards. There will be a good bit of clearance between the inner edge of the orbital mount and the sides of the booster itself. And that will only be any risk of collision for like a half second at most. There's pretty much no risk of collision. So it is resting on 20 quick disconnect umbilicals, or sorry, 20 hold down points that will rapidly disconnect and retract into the mount right at liftoff. So there is.
Ian, I'm going to take over from there for you a quick sec. It sounded a bit robotic. Apologies for that. But we'll give you a second to get that taken a look at. In the meantime, there you can see ship 24. As we progress, again, 8:18 a.m. Central Time is what we're looking at. We should be seeing, it looks like a vent there on the ship. We can see that to the right, just underneath the chopstick arms. And a reminder, those chopstick arms are currently open, which is in the position it is expected to be for launch. We are progressing now with that timeline. We'll be able to run you through here what else we can continue to expect in this timeline as we progress. So as we mentioned, the fueling is underway on both the ship and the booster. That includes liquid oxygen and liquid methane. As we continue along with the countdown, we will expect to see Raptor engine chill begin on the booster a little under 17 minutes or so before T0. And again, that is getting them cooled down and prepared for the thermal shock that they will experience once those engines completely ignite. Then the next major procedure will be at T-minus 40 seconds when the fluid interfaces begin their vent down sequence before the Raptor engines start 8 seconds before liftoff. And again, I just do want to point out that vent that we saw is completely normal. Those vents typically are used to help even out the pressure inside all of the fuel tanks in both the ship and the booster. So there is nothing to worry about when you see those. Just wanted to point that out.
Hey, Sawyer.
Hi, Das. How's it going?
Oh, I am in and out. I am all over the place. We are firing on more cylinders than we actually have right now. But just checking in from the roof of the Margaritaville Resort, South Padre Island over here, it continues to be a beautiful day. There are people down on the beach. Again, still not a cloud in the sky. The sun is coming up. I actually forgot my sunglasses in the truck, so we're just going to have to deal with that. But I don't think that we could have asked for a nicer day to watch this.
Exactly. Thank you for chiming in with that. Yeah, the weather looks absolutely gorgeous. Perfectly clear skies. And like we mentioned before, it's unlike SN11 or SN15, who those remember where it was quite foggy, especially SN11. We've got gorgeously clear skies and we can see everything beautifully happening to the booster and the ship right now. And a reminder, go ahead.
Go ahead.
I was going to say, you're on top of the hotel right now, which we have a camera up there, which you can see in our multi-view, which you can access for all of our members who are red team and above.
Sawyer says we have a camera up here. Sawyer,
Do we?
we bought out the camera store. We have so many cameras up here. It took us like 15 trips up to carry all the cameras we have. We've got a fiber line up here. We've got wireless infrastructure up here. We're controlling all of the different sites from our command post here on the, well, I say on the roof of the hotel. It really relays through the hotel, and all the remote folks, the production team, are really knocking it out of the park today. But I gotta say really quickly, massive thanks to the folks here at the hotel. It's the Margaritaville Resort, South Padre Island, and they set us up with not just a place to watch the lunch from. We've got a room downstairs. They just renovated the whole place. We've actually got a fiber line, and we worked with the hotel to run a fiber line from the server room downstairs all the way to the roof. But they have been absolutely fantastic to us over here. So I hope that this isn't the first, or this isn't the last time we see a Starship launch from here. And if anybody ever ends up coming down this way, check out the Margaritaville Resort. It's ridiculously nice. They're good people. And a lot of what you are seeing on the screen right now is because they worked with us and they helped us make all this happen. Sorry, I had to jump in. This is just a wonderful place. This is a wonderful day.
No, thank you for jumping in. And again, thank you to the people over at the Margaritaville Resort there for allowing us to get all of that set up and bring you guys this extra coverage. Really, really appreciate it. And again, you can see link in chat right now as well to that.
Nice.
And again, reminder, you have that multi-view for red team and above. It cycles through 9 boxes worth of cameras all the time, so you keep getting more and more views, some that you might not even get to see on stream. So
yeah, you got a big vent on the ship there, Sawyer. Did I see that right?
Yeah, it looks like we just had a big vent there, and so far everything looking good. A reminder, those vents are normal. That is the pressures evening out as we continue in the count at about T-minus 43 minutes and counting. Unbelievable there.
At this point, this feels kind of, so we are now in the range where this is basically our normal Falcon 9 streams. We are now in the range where we usually would go live for Falcon 9. It's
yeah, except there is no T-minus 20-minute vent. We've already had quite a big vent here so far with all the ships and the boosters. So there we go. Continuing along here, I do want to, again, thank some of the people with some tremendous support here. Justin Davenport, sounds familiar, with a $150 tip. Here's a little addition to Jack's Bacon Fund. Go Starship. I'm sure Jack appreciates that. Cameron with the 160 Australian dollars. Frank Green, drink bottles are hard to drink from. Thank you very much for the message and for all of the support there as well. So many of you being so kind and so generous. It's really appreciated. New Black with a €200 tip, which is another way you can support us, tips.nasaspaceflight.com. Amazing stream, guys. 20 TVs in our office tuned in. Special shout out to Adrian as your SME. We love the detailed info. New Black, thank you. And Adrian, we love having your commentary as well, especially as we get closer to your first ever launch. And it just so happens to be the most powerful rocket in the world. Stock Garden with more support, another $100 super chat. Let's go. Artificial Reef incoming, which, yes, that's actually a very good point that we should probably address there. So, Adrian, what is going to happen with this booster after it flies and does its kind of boost back burn? What are we expecting to have off the coast right near you?
yeah, what we will see is a partial boost back burn where it will come a bit more towards us as it was if it just wouldn't perform that, but it will not go all the way to us back where you would, for example, go if you would wanted to catch this booster using the chopsticks. It will only use a partial boost back and then perform a landing burn. That landing burn is about 20 seconds long, and after that they will perform it will be a soft splashdown in the best case in the Gulf of Mexico, where the booster will splash down in the water. And then they will try, based on FAA documentation, different ways to sink the booster. They will try to open vents, and then if that doesn't work, try to change the orientation of the booster so the water flows into the booster so that booster sinks. And if these two things don't work, they will shoot it to sink it. So they have a backup plan for a backup plan.
Yes, the launch license specifically states that they can use firearms if needed to sink it. But a reminder: when it does sink, it is not the it's not like we're polluting the waters or anything there. That is actually intentionally designed, and many former rocket stages and boosters that are at the bottom of the gulf or of oceans are now used as artificial reefs for the local wildlife. So just wanted to make a note of that, and also the reference in that tip there to the reefs as well. And also a support here from Peter Shaw with the $50 tip saying, I missed SN15's flight by 15 minutes. 2 years later, get to see my first live Starship launch. Thanks to all of NSF for fostering the interest in knowledge in aerospace. Ad Astra, ad Historia. Absolutely. Yes. Thank you as well for your support and for everyone who is coming through as we continue to count down below T minus 40 minutes now until the scheduled T0 time. So we do have a window that we are currently in. Ian, do we have you back? And if so, what is the remaining launch window? So how long could they continue to go if something were to come up?
Yeah, I hope you do have me back now. The window is going to be going until 9:30 a.m. Central Time. So given that the time right now is 7:41 Central Time, we have just under 2 hours until the window closes. So even if they do need to hold a little bit here, so we're coming up now, excuse me, so we're coming up now on T minus 38 minutes. Even if they do have to hold a little bit, they still have a little bit of margin and a little bit of wiggle room to work with within this launch window. So still plenty of time to, in case they come in with any issues.
All right. Uh, which again, hopefully they don't. But considering that this is a test flight and this is the first time that we have gone into an actual attempt at a liftoff, it is possible that we could see holds of even just a couple of minutes. So just want to make people aware that that is possible. Um, all right, let's see what else we have. Some other questions that we can get answered here for you. Uh, let's see. What is the plan for the splashdown for the ship? We talked a little bit about the booster coming back near Starbase. What about the ship itself, and what can we expect there?
Yeah, so the ship will perform a bit of a hard splashdown because there will not be like the belly flop and then re-end, like they will not perform a horizontal flip maneuver, and they will just let the ship splash down into the Pacific Ocean. And yeah, that will be, if they get to that point, amazing. But there will no be that we will not see a move where the ship will be used. This ship will for sure not survive this mission. That's the sad reality.
Right, and it is important to note that is planned. It is not that we are expecting that it's unexpected that it might crash or anything. This is part of SpaceX's plan and part of the license plan that they have approved with the FAA, that both the booster and the ship will splash down with no attempt at recovery. Uh, Continuing along here with more questions, let's get one over to you, Ian. Are they still expected to perform the belly flop?
Yes, so according to SpaceX documentation, they are performing a belly flop. Now, they are not performing the engine reignition to do the flip and burn. They're just going to belly flop straight into the Pacific. So that is if they make it through reentry. So if they make it through reentry, they're just going to continue on the horizontal descent, much like they did with early ships, but without any form of landing. So that's what we should be expecting about an hour and a half after liftoff.
All right, and that is something we'll absolutely keep an eye on. And a reminder that, as you said, there is no entry burn, right? It's just going to come back down because of the trajectory.
Yeah, there is no deorbit burn. There's no, after the Raptors shut off at SECO about 9 minutes after liftoff, there is no more burns. There are no more burns of the Raptors during flight.
That is good and important to note there as we continue along here. So the vehicle itself, though, it does have those heat shield tiles on one side. That is the black side, right, Adrian? And that's part of the ship.
Yes, the black side is that's the shielded side for the heat for the protection system. The whole black side is basically for re-entry. That's the way how the ship would reorient itself during re-entry to survive the re-entry. These tiles are for these heat protection. But again, we'll see how that holds up. We saw on previous static fires and also on previous flights, like these shorter flights, that sometimes some of these tiles came off. So we'll see
So
if they
T
learn
minus
from that,
34.
if
So
the tiles will all stick on, if some of
nothing
them
much
might
changed.
be
We're
loose.
just waiting
So that's
still.
also a watch item that not only we have, but I bet SpaceX also has, because it's very
Oh, you
interesting
guys
for
are
them to
keeping
see
each other
how the
company.
heat shield performs. It's very crucial that the heat shield performs well over the long period of time, as it is kind of necessary to achieve the reusability goals of Starship.
Talking about Facebook bans, Twitter bans. Blah, blah, blah. Elon is an alien. Let's light this candle. Yep. What's up, Stevie? Yeah, I had to take the little guys to school real quick, so. It's, yeah, I wanted to make a comment on that. One, damn. Two, again, recovery mission. If anybody has a sub, like, let's go. That would be fun. And so the fuels aren't that bad. So it's LOX, so liquid oxygen. So that's not going to hurt anything. CH4 is not the end of the world either. It's just methane. So most of it will burn up. The stainless is fine. There's nothing corrosive on it, and that's preferred method. But yeah, I'd love to go recover it. That'd be awesome. I don't do a Morgan Freeman voice. I don't do voices at all. Yep. Well, he's going to be the voice of the apocalypse. So we'll go over to SpaceX's feed, see what they have to say. Look at that.
You can see, looking up into the launch mount at the 33 engines on the booster. Those are each of the Raptor engines that's going to power today's launch attempt.
Yeah, this is an incredible view. One of my favorite views that we're going to get today.
Beautiful.
We don't have this kind of view on our Falcon 9 launches, so this is so exciting to see. You can even make out the paint markers indicating which engine is which. Like we said, there are 30.
Good morning, Sean.
So there's a lot of fire that's going to be coming out from those engines in just
Shut up,
over
Tomer.
31 minutes from now. As we mentioned before, there are 33 of them on the Super Heavy, the booster.
That
and
black
the-
space
you
guy
don't
that
see it
narrates
now,
everything.
But the cluster in the center are the ones that are actually going to gimbal
Okay.
and help steer the booster back down for its water landing in the Gulf.
Yeah, and they're a little bit different, Kate, than our Falcon engines. So on Falcon, we use a gas generator cycle. Here's a fantastic shot actually at the inner stage, so we can see the 6 engines that are on the ship
I know.
side, 3 gimbaling in the middle. And then
Look at
the,
this one.
the
This one's
vacuum
up the
engines,
skirt.
You can see 2 of them, and the other
They
one's
call this
on
the
the other
skirt.
side, the cluster in the middle here. So Raptor's a little bit different.
There's
It
the
uses something
MVAX.
called stage combustion, which means we basically pre-burn both the fuel side and the ox side, and then get those up to the right temperatures and pressures. And then
They are
mix them in the combustion chamber.
well,
It
they
allows us to get higher thrust and higher
so
efficiency on these engines than on.
it's called
Falcon 9.
deluge, and they use a water deluge
Now,
system
Super Heavy
for
also has
sound
4
suppression.
grid fins to assist with orienting itself
More
during
than
the
anything,
return
but yeah,
back to
it's
Earth,
also used to
as
cool the
today
pad.
is the fully,
Also used to
integrated
put out
device
fires.
test and the first first one,
it dumps a lot of water very, very quickly. And that's called the deluge system. Starship is not going to use the deluge because it's designed to land and take off on
Starship, or
surfaces
the
that are not
spacecraft, is
developed.
the second stage
So,
and makes up the top
I'm gonna
portion of the vehicle.
mute them again. So they're preparing. They're not going to have a concrete launch and landing pad. This orbital mount is obviously elevated, but what they want to do is essentially make it so that they don't have to have all those systems in place because they won't be in the early iterations of Mars. They've also made special considerations to dust. That's part of the reason why they built it. They built Starbase in the middle of Texas. So that's one of those things too. But so they could develop it with the dust. Are they gonna land it? They film all of Mars rover footage. I can say with pretty good certainty, I think that if they so happen to make it to Mars, and we're a long way away, that it would be realistic with Elon. NASA, maybe not so much. Elon, yeah, maybe. Oh yeah, it's insane. The pitting and stuff like that is crazy. I mean, it's a lot of heat. So they're showing a demonstration of the heat tile. This might be fun to listen to.
Shaped tiles like these ones that we have here roughly make up about 2/3 of the vehicle. There's a couple of different geometries. The one that I have is for the circular portions of the vehicle, so it has this curvature to it. And the one that Shiva has.
Yeah, this kind is a hexagonal shape, and there's several thousand of these all across the body of the vehicle. And it's worth saying we need these because when a spacecraft re-enters from orbital velocity, it's going faster than the speed of sound and causes a lot of heat to build up that has to get dissipated by these heat shield tiles.
Yeah, thing that's really cool about these is they're super lightweight. Even just holding them, we're able to even just like hear how hollow they are because of the construction. But they do a great job of dispersing that heat during that atmospheric reentry. We actually produce these in-house at what we like to call the SpaceX bakeries. And they're located in Texas and Florida. So it's something that we designed and build in-house. And like we said, there's thousands of them. You can kind of see them on the exterior of the vehicle. So at this point in time, we are at T-minus 27 minutes and 18 seconds. So let's head on over to John Innsbrucker for an update on the countdown. Hey, John.
Thanks, Kate, and good morning.
This one's bigger.
I'm John Innsbrucker, Principal Integration Engineer here at SpaceX. We're currently loading propellant from the ground system into both the first and second stages. Both vehicles use the same two propellants.
Again, it's
fuel is liquid
so
methane at a temperature of just over 100 kelvins.
It's so early in the development stage that I don't know that he's thought about it, honestly.
Different fuel from Falcon 9, where we use RP1 kerosene. And our oxidizer is liquid oxygen, the same as Falcon 9.
Desert.
But because there's no
I don't mind flying in one. I just don't want to fly one.
We have to bring our own. Now, a little bit of a recap. We did the go, no go poll at T-minus 1 hour and 45 minutes. And once the team gave their goes, we polled about 20 votes. We started loading propellants.
Not particularly. I mean, I know a little bit about how. I know a little bit about the stages of development.
We
but
began propellant loading of the ship, the second stage on Starship.
There's a lot of different things
of the second stage
with
with
the nose cone shape, the flaps.
Stretch it out and wrap it up and finish at T-minus 5 minutes. And then at T-minus 3 minutes, as the booster finishes loading, the vehicle will be fully loaded.
Back when it was in the test program on Boca Chica Beach, there was a certain area where the things exploded, and people were digging them up and stuff. Send it to me. But they were digging stuff up and selling it on eBay. I could not find any while I was down there. Trust me, I looked. Oh, I love a piece of it, but I don't know why he wouldn't sell stuff like that. That's one of my one of the things that I have a problem with is that he doesn't capitalize on that portion of it. I think there's a lot of it there. Is it a wee thing? What's that, fast? Just an animation. Didn't happen yet. Let's see what Elon has to say on the tweeters. Hang on. Oh, this is kind of a cool video. Let's see SpaceX's version of it. He's open sourced a hell of a lot of it. So I don't know that that's technically true. I can see how it would be true, but he believes in advancing the program, not as much as the rest. So so this is SpaceX video that they just posted on Twitter. I think they're pretty confident in the time, so neat. All right, for one of our viewers, Sean, TBD, ABC.
No, that's the Sacha Baron Cohen movie.
Yeah,
I never saw that one.
was a scene where he's
A lot of it he does. Some of it's proprietary, but a lot of
they
it's
show him
open
the new
source.
missile they've developed, and but it has kind of a round head, and he says you need to make it more pointy to to his engineers. And actually, that's why I also said the same thing. Starship, we need to make it more pointy.
Did you say that?
Mm-hmm.
Because of the movie?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Hold on. Hold on. Okay. That's you literally told them to make the Starship more pointy because of the movie The Dictator.
Yep. And they know it too. It's not like they haven't they're unaware of it. Everyone thought it would be funny if we made the rocket more pointy, so we did.
Did it have
I
any
think I've
effect on
seen
the
this before.
aerodynamics?
No.
God, he's hilarious.
No.
Oh, he's so funny. Some of the stuff he does is just questionable at best, but funny.
they boil off, they turn, of course, into gas, which is a much higher leak or anything. They vent pressure every now and then, and that's those little puffs of gas that you see
Oh, we're
coming out
so
of the vehicle.
close.
It's just venting off normal amounts of gaseous propellants that boil off. It's totally normal, something we're going to see up until the last few moments of the countdown.
So we should
something
see
to
an
keep an eye out.
engine chill soon.
Yeah,
A puff of
speaking of
smoke.
that kind of boiling off
at
and
the
the
bottom,
gas that we're seeing
right
there, you
here.
can see the frost continuing to build on both the booster on the bottom there and ship 24 at the top. Adrian, for those who don't know, what is that frost that we see on the outside of the vehicle, and why are we seeing two distinct frost lines?
Yeah, so the booster is basically has two tanks. One is for methane, one is for liquid oxygen. Both are cryo-cooled, which means they are very, very cold. As soon as they come out in contact with the tank wall, because on Starship the tank wall, the tank wall is the wall. Like they.
I don't want to hear that. So yeah, there's no internal tanks in this. It's the wall's the wall. We're 20 minutes away, still holding, or still counting down. Yep. He has FU and U money. We're starting to see so you're seeing the freeze rings from the cryogenic propellant, so we're almost loaded. We'll start seeing it. We should start seeing the engine vent in about 2 minutes if we're on target. And they're doing a recap
those
too.
2 high-altitude test flights. In addition to getting lots of great data, Starship successfully demonstrated control of the vehicle and subsonic re-entry capability.
Ultimately, we performed 9 Starship high-altitude test flights in total, and in May of 2021, SN-15 launched from Starbase, reached an altitude of about 10 kilometers, performed a number of maneuvers, and safely returned to the launch site. This was the first Starship prototype
Watching
to fly,
SpaceX
control its
Twitter.
descent, safely land, and to be recovered in one piece.
Now, having achieved that success in our suborbital campaign,
Oh.
one of the next big challenges for upper stage
I have
reusability
questions
is
later.
to survive the high heating hypersonic phase of entry. Combined with the ability
Nothing
to
from
refill our
SpaceX
Starship's
currently.
tank with fuel and oxygen while on orbit,
Nothing
is
new
what will
from
enable a
SpaceX.
fully reusable transportation system that's designed to carry both crew and cargo on these long duration interplanetary flights, and that's ultimately what will help humanity return to the moon and travel to
Probably
Mars
not.
and beyond in our solar system.
But if they, I mean, realistically, if they're done in the
As
correct
you
way,
can tell,
then
it
yeah.
is nothing but an
I could see that.
iterative process to get to the point that we are today and where we
Why
will
not?
go from here. That iteration is a core process of how we work here at SpaceX. We like to fly and we like to test early and often, both on the side of hardware and software.
Like to blow it up.
That's an awesome point, Kate. Now, we are continuing our countdown to Starship liftoff just over 17 minutes from now. So, of course, let's check in with John
Oh, I'm
for
getting
another
so
status
giddy.
update. John?
Thanks, Shiva. Clock is coming up on T-minus 17 minutes from liftoff. We're continuing to click towards 0. However, right now we've just begun listening in. The first stage team is working a pressurization issue. We're troubleshooting that right now. Now, we do have the
Damn
option,
it.
if need be, if we can't solve this, then we would hold the count and probably treat today as a wet dress and not be able to launch. However, we are continuing to do propellant loading on both the Super Heavy and the ship stages.
Don't
Now,
do
most
that.
recently, we began loading liquid oxygen and methane fuel into the header tanks on Starship. The very top, just underneath the nose there, there are two
1640
small
and
spherical
no
tanks.
engine
That's
vent.
where the fuel
That's not
and
good.
liquid oxygen header tanks are. That started at
Ooh.
T-minus 27 minutes, and that propellant loading will continue until T-minus 9 minutes. We'll also continue loading the main tanks of the Starship second stage, although they're pretty much full right now. Everything will drain back as we get ready for launch at T-minus 5 minutes. Now, on the first stage, we're continuing to load the massive amount of propellant onto the Super Heavy booster.
Now
That's going to
listen.
continue until T-minus 3 minutes. You can see the frost line on some of the views as both liquid methane and liquid
Out from the
oxygen
top.
go into the tank. It's 16 minutes and counting. We're also currently configuring the launch pad for liftoff. The booster hold downs are being prepared for the release at liftoff. and the second stage quick disconnect is beginning its configuration for release. The liquid oxygen and methane that are going into the second stage go through that quick
I don't have
disconnect.
anything
You can
on
see in some of
audio,
the views, the arm
so
that comes out
there's
just to the base of the second
definitely a
stage,
problem because
that'll
it's
move
usually
out of the way
active
as
at
we
this
lift
time.
off. At the same time, the SpaceX team continues to check in with the Coast Guard. We're working one boat that's in the safety perimeter. They are working to get that boat out of the way. We cleared several other boats out overnight. We're down to one, and we expect that'll be clear.
16
so that
minutes.
we can
Well, that's
proceed
still
with
the
launch out
anticipated
over the Gulf
time.
of Mexico.
That doesn't mean
But as
what
a reminder,
that it is what it is.
15 minutes, 10
There's a
seconds and
hold.
counting. We are working an issue on the
Essentially.
first stage, and we'll bring an update as we get more insight into that issue.
So what?
Today's test flight is taking place out of our Starbase facility in South Texas.
So
that facility has
damn
gone
it, where's
through
it at?
a tremendous amount of change.
So I'm gonna keep listening to Miscontrol audio, and we will talk. They are still. Sorry. They're still holding, which sucks. Trying to see if they have. SpaceX has not updated Twitter at all. We should see that countdown move back. So it's probably going to move back maybe even 20 minutes. For real? I'm sorry. Is it really that low? It didn't sound low for me. Shut up, Sean. Yeah, I'm still not seeing any updates. So we will just sit and wait. It's got to be something on you because you said that about Discord the other day too. Like you might have a setting turned down or something. Because it does. When I was listening to it, it doesn't. It didn't seem like an issue. Yeah, we still have no engine chill. Damn it. We still have a vent. They haven't vented it out yet. So we'll go over here and watch this. So there could be a big depress vent, and you'd see just shooting out. We're not seeing that yet. We're still seeing filling, so that's a positive sign. The negative is that there's no update or engine chill yet, so we're definitely more than 16 minutes out. Because at 16:40 the engine chill will begin. So we're definitely more than 16 minutes out.
We saw a little vent there coming out the side, evening out the pressurization within the tanks on board Booster 7, which you have the liquid oxygen and
Yeah,
the
they're
liquid
still
methane
filling, it looks
tanks
like.
that are being filled. A reminder, that is being filled on both the ship and the booster currently. You can see the levels based off of where that frost line is currently.
It was quiet. What?
Now, we talked
I'm
about
not
how
quiet.
the booster is going to be coming back
I guess so.
and returning at some point.
No.
We did have a question that came in that was asking,
So
there
it
are
is
grid fins.
methane, so it's CH4. PC audio volume at 25%. YouTube volume not even under, not low at all. Okay. That's odd. So CH4, so liquid methane, and then pure liquid oxygen. So that is 100% normal. That is the tank farm, and it has to exchange the heat, so it lets the heat off. So it's essentially a big heat exchanger to cool it to very low temperatures. As you can see on the rocket itself, there's quite a bit coming off the sides of it, so that's 100% normal. That's great. Well, his does look like a wee wee. 100% his looks like a wee wee. And his I forget what he called it. Blue Origin, nowhere even close to being ready. I don't know what the hell's going on. Yep. So let's see. I mean, there's still no direct updates from anybody. We are definitely not on a 10-minute timescale. Like, they will not be able to unload and recycle. I don't either. Yeah. Blue Origin's terrible. We still don't see that engine chill. We should see. Damn, that's a shaky camera. We should start seeing an engine chill. So we should start seeing a big puff down here, and we're not seeing it. SpaceX mission control audio is also not. I have nothing over there at all. That's concerning. They have not scrubbed it, so let's just. Oh, New Glenn is the other one. Sorry, I apologize. New Glenn is the new. But that's not looking good either. So this is the New Glenn. This is Blue Origin's new rocket. It's supposed to be bigger than SpaceX. Blah blah blah. It has like 10 different stages, and they still haven't figured out boost and landing. Yeah, there's a lot of problems with that. So still have absolutely nothing. Who, Bezos? Yeah, me too. Doge to the moon. Priming the lines with liquid. So they prime them first with nitrogen and then oxygen to follow. Oh, scrub. Yep. See, you called it. So they have scrubbed the launch for today.
3 minutes. As a reminder, and there's our great view looking up at the Raptor engines, the 33 engines.
Okay, so SpaceX hasn't
There's
officially
an
scrubbed
outer
it.
ring of 20 engines, and then there's an inner set of 13. Those are
But
the engines
NSF
that
is usually
can gimbal and
on.
adjust the course of the Starship vehicle on the way up. And of course, the first stage as it comes back down towards the water landing in the Gulf of Mexico. Now, when both stages are loaded, you can see the condensation frost on the side of the first stage. We'll have just over 10 million
100%.
pounds of liquid propellant on board. Inside T-minus 7 minutes, we're continuing to count. Team is preparing for the hold and scrub at T-minus 10 seconds. Now, the good news is everything's been going good. We're just working that one issue. So we are continuing to count. Team will get this as an excellent opportunity to run the end-to-end of the system. Now, in a launch in the next few minutes, the guidance system would be performing its
Okay,
final
so yeah,
alignment.
they
We will
are
be doing that this
officially
morning. The
scrubbing.
automated flight termination system would be armed. We won't
From
need to arm
Elon.
it today as we won't be flying, and we'll do final thrust vector
damn
control
it.
checkouts, what we call wiggles of the Raptor engines on the first and
Well,
second
that
stages.
sucks.
Now, normally in a countdown, if we needed to hold, there's a view of the second stage Raptor engines just above the first stage. Now, as I mentioned, in a regular countdown, if we needed to hold, that would come at T-minus 40 seconds. That's the point in the countdown where we can pause to wait for final checkouts or pressurization to complete. Earlier this morning, we thought we might have to hold it 40 seconds. Everything's looking good, except for the one pressurization issue that the team is going to have to troubleshoot after this morning.
Potentially.
So we won't stop at 40 seconds right now. We'll continue all the
Well,
way
you
down
should
to 10
start seeing
seconds, and then
action,
we'll go
but
into a
they're
recycle.
scrubbing. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, it is 100%.
Into a wet dress rehearsal here.
Yep.
And
Mission
I've
control.
actually
So
got-
it is
T-minus 5 minutes.
100% a scrub. They're going to run through the process just
a little sad listening to the flight director
just for the hell of the
say that we're gonna
process.
have to stop at 10 seconds. But,
So they run all the way up to 10 seconds. 10 seconds would be the Raptor startup sequence. So it starts at 8 seconds.
Fire today and lift off.
So
but that's okay. The point of the countdown is to allow the
Yep.
teams to progress to that T0 time and a coordinated
So
fashion,
it
and
is
really
scrubbed.
to, unveil
100% scrubbed for today. Yes. Yes. They officially canceled. Sorry. Yeah.
allowed us to identify
So
that press issue, and like John mentioned, the teams are going to work through it, and we are going to basically call it off at T-minus 10 seconds. But the integrated launch teams and us, we are going to treat this as if it were still a launch day. We're going to do this, what we now call a wet dress rehearsal.
Yeah, and we've mentioned the term a couple of times here. We call it a wet dress rehearsal because we are wetting the propellant tanks. We are loading propellant into the vehicle. We've talked about the frost line a little bit here. That exercise.
all right. So that is we'll watch it through the last 4 minutes of countdown. And then SpaceX is going to wrap up anyways. So we'll wrap up. From there, I will let you guys know.
And some of those things look a little bit different when you're getting up to
Wet dress rehearsal. So they
levels and full propellant load. So
run through the whole process, but with fuel and everything, but don't actually light the candle. They do unload the fuel. They condense it into the tanks, and they will reuse it at a later time. So. Hey, no worries.
Mark. So we're really going to exercise everything that we would up until that point.
They are very complex machines, and again, this is a test flight, so it happens more than I would hope.
And that's
but
exactly what we're doing. We are continuing to collect this data and allow the teams to have.
If you remember, originally I said he would launch it on 420, so I think there's a hell of a chance. I don't think they're going to try and go again tomorrow.
Until we are able to attempt this flight test again. So
minimum 48 hours. So
timing will be at the moment, but we're looking at a minimum of 48 minutes.
Or
48 hours at this point in time. But Shiva, exactly as you said, things look a little bit different on launch day, and we allowed the countdown to do its job to basically get to this point.
Sorry, I'm trying to listen real quick.
To work through the issues, and we're going to continue, like we said before, we're going to continue all this down all the way to T-minus 10 seconds, and that will really allow the teams to pretend like this is launch day and continue and gather that data.
It happens.
Yeah, Kate, it's on the one hand, it's a little bittersweet.
That's what I said.
On the other hand, we
hey, no worries.
all the way through. First
I enjoy it.
load, just now wrapping up the second stage, even the header tank.
420 is
of the Starship that you can see on the monitors.
Well, what would that be? Thursday? So at least 48. So that's 48 from now. Their launch window is only till 11. So I don't think they can get it off Wednesday. So it's going to be Thursday. It's going to be Thursday. April 20th.
For those of you that have just joined us, we're now at T.
I'd love to see it fly. I'd be excited to see it fly, but it happens. It happens. It's
we are going to utilize today as a wet.
It's unfortunate, but it happens.
Instead, we are not going to attempt launch. The teams are basically saying that we're scrubbing our launch attempt for today, and we are expecting a minimum of 48 hours in order to recycle. So it's all good news, though. There's nothing really to be sad about other than we had hoped to be able to lift off today, but that's okay.
Now, one thing to point
it's an incredible amount of fuel. That's the 48-hour recycle. So they have to recycle, clean, cool,
One of the things you'll
put
hear
it all
about
in,
a minute, you won't be
and
hearing
then
us because we'll be listening to the countdown. But at T-minus 30 seconds, that's when the flight director would give the final go for launch. Love to have heard that this morning, but something to look forward to. The other
Absolutely.
thing to look at is at T-minus 6 seconds, we begin lighting the engines. Up on your monitor, you can see there T-minus 40 seconds.
Light 'em
The
anyways.
40-second hold point.
light them.
And they are holding for a moment. In the end, they will release that hold. We'll go the last 30 seconds. But yes, when we do get to day of launch, the last thing to look at is in the last 6 seconds, light the Raptor engines in succession. So unlike Falcon 9, we're going to have to do that a little longer. We're hearing right now the clock is going to hold here at T-minus 40 seconds. The Super Heavy and Starship are looking good. So with that, Kate, it's been a fast-paced morning. Gemma, we got through it fairly quickly. But at this point, we're going to have to call it a morning.
Yeah, that's right. So for those of you that have recently just joined us, we unfortunately had a hold on the countdown today, and that is going to scrub our launch attempt. But we are expecting a minimum of 48 hours in order to recycle. So be sure to keep an eye on our social channels, and we'll share information as soon as it becomes available. Until then, stay safe, and we'll see you soon.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. Unfortunately, we did not get a launch today, but I appreciate you. I know. That's true. Fortunately, there's no people on board, so yeah, we'll pull that down. So we'll do it all. I will obviously be listening to Big Sad. Shut up and go take a nap. I know. I know. It's almost like Hollywood is feeding you bullshit. Because nothing's ever like the movies. So right, ladies and gentlemen, I am going to jump off here and go drown my disappointment in food, maybe. Breakfast. So, I'll be watching it. We'll give it a go, and we'll see what happens on. So it'll either be Wednesday or Thursday. I believe it's probably going to be Thursday. I will obviously keep you all posted. And we're doing. So what's on the docket? Kaiser and I are doing palate cleanser tonight, and catch us at 8:30. Trying to think. So there will not be a stream tomorrow morning. OJ Simpson she's talking about, obviously. There will not be a morning stream tomorrow morning, but if there is a chance that it could happen on Wednesday, I will certainly be covering it again. And if it's where it's very likely going to be on Thursday, I'll be here for that too. So, thanks everybody for hanging out with me. And I hope everybody has an awesome day. Don't worry about it. We'll get it up eventually. So, but all right, y'all. You have a great day. Thanks for stopping by and take care. Bye-bye.